So unlike most traders, I call it as it is. There's irrefutable evidence that I'm able to make effective predictions by telling you that A is going to happen before this happens. And a lot of the times people are kind of confused in terms of how I'm able to make these predictions. It all comes down to my option premium model.
At
Now,
the
I
right
won't share
time
the
by
secrets
using a
behind
methodology that's
how I'm able to
consistent over
predict
time.
this, but I do have a very soundproof option trading model that a lot of my members use and rely on a daily basis. They see the inflection points, they see the levels, they see how I'm able to carefully craft where the top point is, where the bottom is, and so forth. So today, I'm going to be going over line by line of all the predictions that we made since the beginning of the week, and go over with you on what is finally happening. I'm then going to share with you guys more details and information on what's going to be happening next. If you guys been watching my yesterday's market recap, I told you exactly what happens, but we'll start from square one and we'll give you a rewind of what happened in the past. So let's go over it. So today we had another very successful day. But before we talk about our trades and what's to come, let's go over what happened on our Twitter feed. So we gave you guys analysis on Nvidia. We spoke a little bit about the keynote, all that stuff that's happening. Microsoft, pretty much giving all that information. We made some good trades off Nvidia to the upside. We also gave you Micron strategy levels over here. It is timestamp confirmed that we had so far called the top on MSTR at approximately around 380. Okay, this is all timestamped. You can see over here, this was given to everyone by January the 5th, okay, which was before the start of the week. And this happened on a Monday, the following day. Okay, so that's all timestamped. We all confirmed all of that information there. Now, moving forward, we also talked about how Tesla's likely to see a lot of weakness moving forward. I noticed a lot of bearish premiums on this specific stock, and we did not want to touch this towards the upside. It did open strong on Monday, but it over time got sold off, which was pretty interesting to see. Okay, so we gave a lot of information on how far SPX can go. Monday we were slightly off because we did mention that there's a possibility SPX can go to 60.30. It only hit one of our targets, not the second target, which was 60.20. And as we go along, I also mentioned, I forgot to say here, I mentioned early on that we would see, contrary to the existing popular opinion, I see that there's a short covering rally and put premiums causing the market to spike. Nvidia event may change things. So I mentioned that the market would have a strong green open, and then Monday, strong green open, which you see the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500, which is around, at that time it was around 5970. And if SPX don't break, you'll likely see a pullback on Tuesday, which is today, and we've seen an immense pullback right there. This was given on January the 4th, okay? So very interesting to see that, and a lot of information was there, and these predictions is how we're able to see to become very successful, okay? So over time, giving a lot of predictions, at the end of every day, I pretty much talk about this as well, okay? I mentioned yesterday that we would see the S&P 500 pretty much open at around around 6,000 to 5980. Okay, so as you guys can see here, where we made this prediction, and right around here. Okay, so our prediction is we see the S&P 500. We see the 60-20 moving, and we believe based on our weekly premium assessment, we're likely to open green, which we actually did. The S&P 500 opened at around 59, or went to a high of 59.98, and that's how we managed to make money off our calls. Okay, so if you guys look at the Discord here, we start off our morning call. We had a little bit of discussion in the room, so forth. You see all our SPX moving, our NVIDIA calls were green. Those are secondary NVIDIA calls. We decided to sell our SPX calls for around 50%. So that was a nice trade. We were looking to get into calls, but later realized that the market was weak and decided to focus on the downside. So we gave the 5910 puts at 2.4. With that confirmation, we gave SPY 592 puts, and as you guys can see, that started to really pay. Immediately you got around 100+% on those 5910s. They started to move, and we bought more SPX 5940s because it was very choppy, right? So throughout the day, you can see that those puts started to pay. We sold a 5940s at 10. They went to a high at around $40, of course, but we held the 5900s, and pretty much we sold the 5910 puts for around 206%. Talked about more puts, different trades. We gave a lot of scalp plays. We got Tesla puts, MSTR puts as well. That all hit around pretty much they all start to move very well. Okay, we even gave the Tesla puts publicly. Okay, now, not to brag or anything like this, I wanted to show you this because it kind of tells you how we always wait for the premium. So I said 5900 put has a strong support at around 1. Some people that took that managed to do very well because those went as high as, of course, as you can imagine, around $12. So that's 1,000% play. And we talked about all that stuff. We gave the MSTR puts, which all pretty much, they really rocketed. Okay, they gave a nice double to the team, and I'm still holding on some runners pretty much. And if we look over here on our spreadsheet, just to show you guys a little bit of confirmation, I am sized down on my plays because it's a new year, and I do not like to, start off heavy. But as you guys can see here, the consistency speaks for itself. All these open trades, I consider them a loss until they're sold. So, we're pretty much nailing it, as you guys can see. And it's all about consistency more than anything. Okay. Now, this goes on to my next point over here. Where do we see the market moving forward? Okay. And this is going to be part of the most important thing here moving forward. Okay. So SPX, or SPY, as many have been looking at it, pretty much you can see directly off our numbers here that when the market hit this level 1 bearish, it started to really drop here. Okay, so we believe that SPY may open around 584, or SPX can possibly open around 5870. So that's one of my predictions, that we see further downside. Okay, and the reason for that is because they put premiums got accelerated. You've seen one last green candle, which is always nice. So even though futures are up a little bit, I'm pretty confident that we're going to see a red open, and you're possibly going to see around between 5880 open or 5870. Okay, we didn't swing SPX like we did yesterday, but certainly we are confident that's going to happen. Okay, because we started off the day by selling our SPX calls at top and then taking puts literally around the top all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, so very interesting. Not only that, we call the top on QQQ. Okay, so timestamp confirmation as always. This is internal in the Discord. On the 5th, we gave this, that our estimated weekly highs 528, right? You guys can see 528, and there's no edits whatsoever. This was the previous thing ever. Okay, there's no service out there that makes predictions like we do, and I can guarantee it. If you know anyone, post them in the bottom. I would like to see a bit, but there's nobody out there that makes accurate predictions like we do. Okay, so NVIDIA was close to our top level 3 at 154, was off literally by a couple of cents, so around 87 cents, where we were off buying the bottom. Now, in my predictions on Twitter, I mentioned that NVIDIA is likely to have a green open. Okay, I've seen actually strong gammas on this here. We're still holding our calls. We didn't short NVIDIA under any circumstances here. But I did mention in my prediction here that we do see that Nvidia is likely to open in the green. Okay, so that's where we see things moving here, moving forward. Other stocks that we see potential in, AMD might need a little bit of a pullback, but this is going to hold. Not really interested in the calls at this point because it's in the chop range. You might get some news on AMD real soon, but just be aware of that. ARM stopped exactly right at a level 2 bullish. I think this should temporarily recover. Tesla is stopped around our level 1 bearish. It only broke down near the end of the day. This trade was a banger. I'm still holding on this because I see potential where it could go to 383 and 380. I would like to add equity around 380 before anything. Broadcom has just been chilling in range. We haven't been touching this at all, and I mentioned this on Twitter as well, that is likely to see some weakness on the stock. Now, MSTR, we called the top. I mentioned this. We posted that on Twitter. No way you can refute that whatsoever, okay? So as you guys can see, that pretty much our model is consistent and works very well. So if you guys want to check it out and learn it to increase your chances of success, I give predictions all the time, and most of the time they end up working here, okay? So besides all that, what are the key takeaways of this video today? So the key takeaways is that we see more weakness in the S&P 500. Now, I give an edge to certain semiconductor stocks like Nvidia, especially AMD, ARM, not really Broadcom, but semiconductors may have a little bit of strength. They're going to be hard targets to short, especially when you got this CES event happening as well. Another thing that's happening is that we're seeing bond yield surge, and I believe that Bitcoin might see a little bit of a greater pullback. It had a minus 5% drop, and it's struggling to really hold that 5% zone. I believe that MSTR can possibly see more downside, and we're looking at this potentially go to 320, possibly even 330 for tomorrow's open. I believe the S&P 500 can test, not exactly open, but it can potentially test 5880 to 5870 range. It can hit that number and then pop back to the 5900 zone. So just be aware of that. But I see immense possibility of selling pressure on Tesla, and it may most likely continue to sell until it hits that strong support between 380 and 383. So hope you guys enjoyed this video here. I'll see you guys into tomorrow's trading session. And if you guys want to learn a thing or two about how we make these predictions, how you can use this model for your benefit, definitely check the link below and get access to our mentorship program to help you improve your chances of success and see the before and the after and so forth. I also privately coach one-on-one with all my members to make their chances of success a lot better. We are not a copycat service. We teach you to basically how you can use our model for your own benefit. So unlike most trading services that you're on your own, we actually educate you and teach you through our website process. So if you're not able to take these meetings, you can just fill out a form, and pretty much we will send you a pre-recorded personalized video about your situation. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you guys in the next one, and like always, let's get that money.